Hello guys and welcome to Odds on Bundesliga. We have the second match day. We had a lot of news actually in Germany during the week, and we have also Radek Vegas to analyze with us all 9 games. How are you, Radek?
Very great. Excuse my connection problems if there are any, because I'm in Lisbon and being there for several weeks, enjoying my holiday, but making here an excuse to give you some betting tips for this weekend.
There is always time also to make some money out of betting. And remember, guys, leave a comment in the video or ask any question to our Bundesliga expert Radek. And if you enjoy our videos, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe, and of course, click on the bell to get notifications when we do these live videos. And this is Friday, and today the second match day is starting. After what we saw, but we will talk about it a bit later in the German Super Cup, also in the middle of the week. But our first game, Radek, is a very interesting one. Actually, Leipzig, Stuttgart, two teams that started the season in a very different way, because Leipzig lost against Mainz, something that also happened last year, and I was a bit surprised to see Leipzig not scoring a single goal. With the offensive line that they have this year, Andre Silva, Forsberg, Aidara, and Nkunku, really good offensive part for March team, but they lost against Mainz, whereas Stuttgart, they started in the best way possible, 5-1 against Furth. Stuttgart, that last season, Radek, they were way better away from home, actually, than at home, but they have a tough one, of course, against Leipzig.
Yeah, I don't overrate the first game day, and I think Leipzig has a really brilliant, strong team. And why they lost at Mainz, because Mainz is also a strong team nobody really believes in, because they were one of the best teams in the year 2021 in the Bundesliga and made it from almost relegation to the middle of the standings. And yeah, Mainz seems to continue good work with Bo Svensson, and Leipzig has to adapt the tactical skills and tactical formation of Jesse March, who's the new coach there. And that's why I think they will improve in this game, because Leipzig is also a very strong team at home, and they have a brilliant team in the whole roster. And Stuttgart made best out of the situation at the home game against Furth, but now Leipzig is a really, really hard opponent. The odds on Leipzig are not really attractive. I would say they win it maybe 2-1, because Stuttgart can always score, and maybe it's a better option to watch how many goals we can have in this game. Maybe over 3. And maybe over 2.5, because over 2.5 is odds of 1.53. That is also not the odds I want to play, because they are too low. But I would say that Leipzig will score twice at least, and Stuttgart also can contribute to the scoreboard. So we will see maybe 3 or more goals in this game. And over 3 goals can be an option in this game. Better than betting on Leipzig win, in my eyes.
Okay, then let's go for goals in the first game. Then we have two teams that started really poorly the season. Eintracht Frankfurt, Augsburg. Actually, you said, Radek, that these two teams might struggle this season, and Frankfurt, they started with a 5-2 defeat against Dortmund. We know that they lost Andre Silva. For instance, whereas Augsburg, they were thrashed at home against Hoffenheim. Now, Frankfurt, of course, really favorite to win their first game of the season.
Yeah, and they're playing at home, and of course they got 5 goals against Borussia Dortmund. On the other side, they scored twice, which is not bad in Dortmund Stadium. And yeah, then we have Augsburg, who was really bad last season, and I don't see any improvement, and I think they will struggle hard in this season. That's why I think Frankfurt should win this game, but again, we don't get really good odds on Frankfurt here, as we don't know, are they really able to compete around the international spots this year with their new coach Oliver Glasner, who made it to the Champions League with Wolfsburg last year. And so it's kind of no bet game because we don't really strong Frankfurt is, and yeah, Augsburg has to in the first game against Hoffenheim. That's why the bet in this game win on both sides.
Then we stay away. Then we have Freiburg, Borussia Dortmund. We just mentioned how Borussia Dortmund got the first victory of the season with Rose on the bench, 5-2 against Frankfurt, Eintracht Frankfurt, with Haaland scoring 2 goals in this case. But in the middle of the week, they lost against Bayern Munich in the Super Cup. Actually, Haaland was also a protagonist in this game when the game finished and he went to the standings to give his t-shirt to a fan. Good gesture for the Norwegian guy. Whereas Freiburg, goalless draw against Bielefeld. Well, what we can expect, I guess, between Bielefeld and Freiburg. Again, Radek, really low odds in this case for the favorite.
Yeah, and that's kind of a surprise because look at the last 2 games at Freiburg against Dortmund. Last game in February, Freiburg won 2-1, and the pre-last game in October 2019, it was a 2-2 draw. And we know Borussia Dortmund lost in the Super Cup against Bayern Munich. And they had a tough game, so maybe they're not completely fresh in this game, and they are always struggling in Freiburg. That's why I won't bet on Dortmund here, but I can imagine that Dortmund wants to prove that they're better than they showed against Bayern Munich, and they have to collect points in the league, and they have to win against Freiburg. But that's nothing I want to bet on. And to speculate that Freiburg can keep it close is also a bit too dangerous because these odds on Freiburg 2.42 are not correct.
No, 6.
Yeah.
6 points actually. So it's very
Freiburg home win is
way
6.
higher.
Yeah. So Dortmund odds of 2.75 would be great, but we only get 1.5 or 1.6 here on Dortmund, which is also not really good. As a fan of Borussia Dortmund, I would bet on Borussia Dortmund, but as a neutral spectator, I have my doubts about Dortmund win. So no bet here. We might find better bets on this game day.
Unfortunately, the victory for Borussia Dortmund is not paid at 2.7. Otherwise, I would put my money there. But as you say, 1.57 right now on Oddspedia.com. We're talking about the favorites. Now we probably can find some more value in the next games. They are very balanced, starting from the next one, Furth, Arminia, Bielefeld. Probably this is a relegation battle game, even if we are in the second match day, because Furth, they just got promoted and they conceded 5 goals against Stuttgart in the first game, also out of the German Cup. So a team for sure that they will struggle in the Bundesliga. And Arminia, Bielefeld, we know them from last year that they can compete. They don't concede many goals. That's why they stayed in the Bundesliga, and they got a good point against Freiburg in the first match day. I'm surprised, Radek, to see Furth favorite here. The odds tell us that the bookies expect a draw, but the home team is slightly favorite.
Yeah, and that's kind of a mistake in my eyes because, Arminia Bielefeld does a great job in their capabilities, and that's why I would say that Arminia Bielefeld is slightly better in this game. And what I like best here is Asian Handicap 0 on Arminia Bielefeld. Means if we have a draw, what is expected by the bookies, and not unlikely maybe, Furth playing at home. So we can bet on this Asian Handicap 0. We get odds of 2.03 on Arminia Bielefeld. maybe it's 0-0 as both are not really likely to score. Maybe it's a 1-1. Maybe it's a 1-0 for Bielefeld. This is my range I would bet on. And that's why Asian Handicap 0 on Bielefeld. I like really here because I think, they have the experience, and what they did good last season is to win against teams in the bottom of the league, and so Furth is an opponent they have to beat, and I'm looking forward to see them win here.
Asian Handicap 0 then for Arminia Bielefeld, a team that again in the last season they didn't concede many goals, especially in the last part of the season when they got the salvation. Then is more interesting the next game, also with high odds. We have Hertha against Wolfsburg. We expected much more about Hertha in this Bundesliga because last season they struggled a lot to stay 1 year more in the Bundesliga. They have good money. They bought Jovetic, for instance, and he scored in the 5th minute of the game, but they lost against Cologne, another team that struggled a lot last season to stay in the Bundesliga, whereas Wolfsburg with Van Bommel on the bench had a good debut. Victory 1-0 against Bochum, probably not brilliant like Van Bommel when he was a footballer, but effective, and the striker always, Weghorst, delivering, Radek.
Yeah, and that's one point I see here, that Wolfsburg didn't make a huge win as I kind of expected against Bochum, but at the end they collected 3 points, and Hertha was disappointing at Cologne. And that's why I see the Wolfsburg odds a bit too high, because Wolfsburg seems to continue the way they made last year, beating all teams behind them, just losing against the top teams like Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund. And if this is like that in this season, then Wolfsburg is the favorite in this game, and more favorite than the odds are telling us. And we have the option of, if we bet on Asian Handicap 0 on Wolfsburg, gives us the money back if there's a draw. We only get 1.75 on this. And I think I would say maybe we should bet on win of Wolfsburg here, that they can beat Berlin here, as they have a really good team. And the odds of 2.4 we see here are really attractive. But if you want to be safe, kind of safe of a draw, you get Asian Handicap 0 with 1.75. Still pretty good odds.
Yeah, where viewers don't trust Wolfsburg at all. We have Shuban telling us that Wolfsburg is damn unpredictable, and he's completely right. We suffered Wolfsburg last season, and also Govinda, Wolfsburg draw no bet is his option because he's also afraid of a draw. Odds 1.71. Another options for Hertha Wolfsburg with high odds. And then this game is interesting from the betting point of view. And the next one, Radek, I'm sure you are gonna fancy it because we have Bochum Mainz. We check the odds, and actually we have higher odds for Mainz, although it's very balanced. The book is also expect here a draw around 2.65, 2.67 for Bochum, 2.71 for Mainz. And as you mentioned, Mainz is one of the best teams in this 2021. They also were able to beat Leipzig at home. In the last 12 Bundesliga games, only one defeat for Mainz, and was against Borussia Dortmund and Bochum. We still don't know how they are going to adapt to this Bundesliga.
Yeah, and no matter what happens, because we know all that especially the Bundesliga is kind of very hard to predict. But no matter what happens in this game, we have to look at this brilliant odds, because we have, as you said, everything. Mainz as a really strong team with a good form, competing against a new team in the league who is kind of a no-name with a small budget. And why the hell should Bochum be favorite in this game? That's ridiculous. And it's just pure value betting on Mainz Asian Handicap 0, because we get odds around 2.0 here, and get the money back if there's a draw. We have always the danger of a draw in the Bundesliga. That's why I like to bet on a lot of draws. But in this game, Mainz should win this game, because a team who wins against Leipzig should beat Bochum any day. And that's why, I love the odds of 1.97. On the other hand, we can speculate, Bochum is now playing at home. They are getting into the league. They will surprise, but this is kind of gambling, and I don't like gambling in sports betting. I like to rely on the facts, and we have facts on Mainz and really good odds, and that is what I call value. And Asian Handicap 0 on Mainz is, in my eyes, the best bet in this game day.
I knew you were going to like those odds for Mainz. Actually, Shuban was thinking what you were mentioning, that Bochum is going to surprise with the home fans in their first Bundesliga game after being promoted. And Govinda agrees with you. Mainz draw no bet is good for him. Odds 2.0. In this case, if there is a drop, you get your money back. And the next one is probably more difficult to predict, but we have also good odds. Could be a clash for fighting in the top 4. At least last season or the previous 2 seasons, these 2 teams were fighting to get into the European spots. And so far, probably even Gladbach looks a little bit better. We have Leverkusen, Gladbach. When we were analyzing a little bit this Bundesliga, we said that with Huttler on the bench, and also they were keeping all the good players, Gladbach can make a good season without the Champions League this season. And they started really good, stopping Bayern Munich with that goal scored by Plea. We also said, Radek, you said that be careful with this first game with Bayern Munich, because Gladbach is a difficult stadium for the Bavarian team. And Leverkusen, same result also, 1-1 against Union Berlin. We have lower odds here for Leverkusen, very favorite, 2.38. Maybe is good then going the other way for Gladbach?
Yeah, seems to, but I don't like Gladbach that much. I really don't understand why they are, they made a point against Bayern Munich, because they should have lost this game. They were lucky. And on the other hand, their defense is not that bad, and the whole team is good chemistry. And I like their coach, Adi Hütter is brilliant. And on the other hand, Leverkusen, in my eyes, has the way better players, but not the better team and not the better coach for sure. And I would say Leverkusen should compete in the first 4 spots more than Gladbach in this season. But we don't know. This is a game where a lot of things can happen. We see Patrick Schick at the Euro 2020 scoring, I think, 4 goals for Czech Republic, and he's now at Leverkusen competing with another brilliant striker, Lario. They have Demirbay, Diaby, Amiri, a lot of high potential players. And the only point maybe could be the Leverkusen defense. And that's why maybe there could be a lot of goals in this game as well. On the other hand, it's really tough to predict. I would say from my opinion that I think the Leverkusen squad is better. I would say Leverkusen has the home advantage and can win this game. On the other hand, it's kind of weird gambling again, because we saw them only playing 1-1 against Union Berlin, what is not that great. And Gladbach can also win this game or compete. That's why a draw, in my eyes, is also very attractive, because we get high odds. But to be honest, I don't have a clue here because it's too blurry, and that's why I won't bet. But if I would bet, I think I would bet a small amount on a draw.
All right. Also very difficult to trust Patrick Schick, a player that you mentioned, because his career is ups and downs, especially when he was playing, for instance, for Roma. He didn't do pretty well. And then in the Euro, as you mentioned, he was brilliant. Then we have two games on Sunday. Hoffenheim Union Berlin is the first one. Great debut for Hoffenheim. I think that we expect much more than what they did in the previous season, 0-4 against Augsburg, scoring 4 goals. And no goals were scored by Kramaric. That is strange. Then Union Berlin, they played in the Europe Conference League because last season was great for them. And as I mentioned, they also got a good point against Leverkusen. Here, Hoffenheim favorite, odds 2.15.
Yeah, this is a bit too low on Hoffenheim. We don't know how good or bad Augsburg is, and to beat Augsburg is not Union Berlin, and I don't like the Hoffenheim odds. And I really tend to a draw here as well, because what should happen here? Hoffenheim to win at home, maybe you win not that much, it's too dangerous. Union Berlin to win away is also not really a case to bet on, and I think we have pretty equal teams here, and a draw of 3.77 is really good here. I only bet a third of a unit, and then go for it, hope the best, and win 1 unit if it's right, and don't lose a lot if it's wrong. And this is how to make profit in the long run. Winning.
Then let's go for the
yes.
Okay, then this is a draw. Let's go for the last one. We have Bayern Munich, Cologne. A lot of news around Bayern Munich in this week. Torpedo Müller passed away. Lewandowski wants to leave, and this is a major surprise. They also won the German Super Cup against Borussia Dortmund, first title for Nagelsmann as a coach. But as we mentioned, they were stopped by Borussia Mönchengladbach in the first match day with precisely Lewandowski scoring the goal, and Cologne, great debut for them, 3-1 against Hertha, coming back from behind, 2 goals scored by Kainz. As always, Radek, where do we find the value in these Bayern Munich games playing at home?
Yeah, if these odds we see here are right, then we see a lot of value betting on Bayern Munich. But unfortunately, this is not the right odds. We have 1.16 on Bayern Munich and not 1.66. And 1.16 is never a good bet on any team in the world. But now we have it correct. Yeah, and for sure, Bayern Munich has to show more than in the first game, and I'm 100% sure that they will win this game. And if I'm 100% sure, I will find value in this 1.16. But it's anyway too dangerous. And what I can expect is that Bayern Munich will, play really focused to score goals, because their offense is the best in Germany, or maybe one of the best in Europe still, with Lewandowski, the best striker, with Gnabry, with Sané, who has more potential, as he showed at the Euro, and Goretzka, Kimmich, and a lot of good additional players. So Bayern Munich has to score 3 goals at least here. Maybe we can find out Bayern Munich over 2.5 goals. I like. And the total goals, everyone expects here a lot of goals. That's why it's not really attractive to bet on more than 3.5 goals in this game. I can see Cologne score once or even twice, maybe, because their coach, Steffen Baumgart, did it last season with Paderborn, but Paderborn was playing at home, or 2 years ago. When Paderborn was playing at home against Bayern Munich, it was a 3-2, and This would be kind of my result in this game, 3-2 for Bayern Munich, or maybe higher. Last season, I thought Cologne can make it close against Bayern Munich. At the end, Bayern Munich won 5-1 against Cologne. And I think, it's a clear win, but you never know.
Everyone...
It's not an option here.
Everyone here likes actually Bayern Munich to win and both teams to score. Ahmed is telling us this, Govinda also, Lyle as well. We have odds 2.3, only both teams to score. Odds are 2.1. So that could be our option then for this last game. Radek, before you enjoy a good bacalhau, good cod in Lisbon, maybe you can give us an ACCA, a couple of games or 3 games to mix together in this match day and higher a little bit our odds.
Yeah, it's really damn hard here to find good games to combine so that we find a kind of sure bets or something like that. I would combine Asian handicaps, but at the end, only betting on single bets is better in my eyes. But if you want to combine, I would combine Wolfsburg Asian handicap 0 at Hertha 1.75 with Mainz Asian handicap 1. Asian handicap 0. You get odds of 1.97 or about 2.0. Altogether, these 2 games will be around 3 or 4 at the odds. And if you want to throw in another safe game, bet on Bayern Munich win, but don't blame me if Cologne strikes again. And hard at the beginning of the season. I'm more watching than betting in the first 6 or 7 game days, and there are a lot of unpredictable things, but I think Mainz Asian handicap 0 is still a good bet for Asian handicap, and the other thing I like is Bielefeld Asian handicap 0 2.0, and a lot of Asian handicaps, and then Dortmund win. I won't do Lyle because they struggled a lot in the past in Freiburg, and they had the game against Bayern Munich in their week, and so kind of hard.
All right, we have these 2 games. Also, Govinda was pointing that Mainz and Wolfsburg, both with Asian handicap 0. So if they draw, you get your money back and you don't lose. Then Radek, thanks for analyzing with us this second match day of the Bundesliga. Also, thanks to everybody who watched it and who commented the show with us. And of course, you can still leave a comment and tell us your tips. And don't forget to support us. Please click on the like, subscribe, and click on the bell to get notifications. And of course, see you next week while Radek enjoys